There's an altcoin trend that's about to happen this month, and it will be one of the biggest opportunities for the savvy to get ahead of a huge monumental addition to this crypto ecosystem. Millionaires will be minted off of this hype train, so understanding it and getting ahead of it is one of the biggest alpha leaks that I can do for you here on this channel. Today we're going to be talking about the most likely projects to secure a parachain on Polkadot, and these altcoins not only have 100x potential, but they are exceptional additions to the technology stack here in the crypto world, and things that should absolutely be on your radar. So go ahead, destroy that like button, and of course subscribe if you want to learn about the most important projects in the crypto space before anybody else. Make sure you also have that bell notification on because the Bell Squad always gets first dibs. Now, before we dive into this, I want to make it clear that playing this doesn't mean just blindly aping in. No, these projects are going to be wildly hyped. So from the time that they launch, whatever price points they might be at, there will probably be a massive industry-wide pump happening as people FOMO into these. So what you want to do is time your entries properly. Not financial advice. If you time this wrong, you could absolutely get wrecked. So this is not just a one-way ticket on the stairway to heaven here. You need to play this with some savvy. As I've been reporting on this since August of last year, the reality is that everyone's eyes are going to be focused on Polkadot as they roll out their crowd loans. So with that disclaimer out of the way, I want you to understand that there are dangers here in the process. That said, this is huge because Polkadot's crowd loans are about to go live. So we're going to take a second to explain what the heck a crowd loan is first. A crowd loan is everyone gets their Polkadot together and essentially votes with their Polkadot on who they want to secure a parachain. Those parachains are layer 1 blockchains in the Polkadot ecosystem. They have the ability to support tokens on top, apps on top, NFT marketplaces, video games, whatever, you name it. They're independent blockchains within Polkadot. But the thing is, there's not going to be a limitless amount of them. They're going to be very scarce at first. And as I've been saying, those early projects that are able to secure parachains will absolutely crush it over that early period. Eventually, there will be more and more and more. But for that short term, that 3 to 6 month period, I see massive, massive potential here as people will rush to deploy their applications on top of those early layer 1s because why wait to join in all the Polkadot fun? Now, with that said, this process is about to begin on November 11th, less than 1 month from today. So that is absolutely huge. And as these projects get cemented and actually earn their parachain slots, they will start rolling out in Q4, and the ones that do, if you thought what was happening on Moonriver was big, get ready because what's about to happen on Polkadot is going to be even bigger. First up on the most likely list to secure a parachain slot here is Moonbeam. Obviously, we've been covering Moonbeam for quite some time. Next to Acala, Moonbeam is the most anticipated project to receive a parachain slot. They are the ones who created Moonriver here, or the Mover token, so they are no strangers to deploying fully realized L1 blockchains here in Polkadot land. They earned the Moonriver spot and really stole the show here. So with the success of Moonriver, it would be zero surprise to see them absolutely crush their full Polkadot ecosystem parachain. Now the TLDR here is Moonbeam makes it easy to build decentralized applications on Polkadot, which means that your dApps can integrate with blockchains including Bitcoin and Ethereum. With Moonbeam's smart contracts and compatibility with Ethereum developer toolset, you can quickly build applications that work with users and assets on remote chains, either through the Polkadot compatibility or bridge-based integrations. Effectively, this is an EVM-compatible blockchain, much like what we talked about with Acala, which, surprise, surprise, is also on this list. Now, if you're paying attention, you can see that Moonbeam has already secured a Web3 grant. That's not saying a ton because there's been a ton of grants given out. That doesn't give us an effective or empirical way to say who's going to secure these slots. Again, it's based on community size, developer activity, general hype, alpha leaks, what I'm hearing from little birds around the industry. These are all really big factors. For Moonbeam, we have a litany of absolutely crushing investors here, partners. We also have a Moonbeam team that seems confident in their chances of getting a slot. I do want to say that I do have a small little allocation into the Moonbeam pre-sale. So I do have some tokens here. Consider me biased. I'm very, very excited about this project. I think it's going to absolutely crush, but I want to have full disclosure here that I have invested into Moonbeam. Next up is Acala, and this is hands down the top dog for a parachain slot. This is, by all means, the most sort of legitimized project in the space. Dan has been on the show, Dan Reeser from Acala. It is an absolutely monstrous project, and it is, in my opinion, the most likely to get this slot based on a variety of factors. They essentially will be the DeFi hub here on both Polkadot with Acala and on Kusama with Karua. They are doing amazing things. They have stablecoins, they have DeFi, they have EVM compatibility, you name it. I'm expecting for this one to be scarfed up by the market. It might be wise to really let this one settle. In fact, it will be wise to let this one settle. Don't rush into this one because there will inevitably be a cool off of the hype. And if we get some kind of Bitcoin crash in the not too distant future, one of those scary moments where we go up to maybe 100K, crash down to like 60K, people start thinking, oh, the bull run's done. It's over, guys. We hit 100K. It's got to be over. Maybe that's the time where if people start aggro dumping something like Acala or Moonbeam, if you miss that early wave, that's probably your entry point. If it goes down, 60, 70, 80%, as these altcoins always do. So remember, you're always risking 80, 90% drops with any altcoin. That said, Acala seems like it's going to be really in pole position here. It's got amazing technology. Knowing how deeply interwoven the Acala team is with the Web3 Foundation and Polkadot in general, I just believe genuinely that these guys are going to make it to the hallowed land of early parachain slot holders. Next, we have Centrifuge, which is a project that allows you to tokenize real-world assets. Now, this is another NFT play. It's a DeFi play. It's an interesting play. Now, I'm not extremely bullish on tokenization of real-world assets. However, it is very much an early mover here in the Polkadot ecosystem and has deep ties with the foundation. But Centrifuge is not alone in this. They're actually implementing with Cello, MakerDAO, and Circle to allow for borrowing and lending on the blockchain. They've also secured and completed the deliverables for 2 Web3 Foundation grants. That's 2 grants. The project also has notable investors like Galaxy Digital. So there's a lot going on here. Again, we don't know for sure if Centrifuge is going to be in that top 5, but I do think it's an early contender. It's got a little less hype. And what we've seen is that those really internal projects tend to crush it and score parachain slots. I think this one is a dark horse here. We also have Bit.Country here. Now, this one very well might secure a slot because it's more unique. It allows for anyone to build their own metaverse for their community of supporters, family, or friends, etc. It's an interesting design here. And who knows, it very well might be one of those selected to make it in my opinion, specifically because of the metaverse angle and how hot metaverse is right now. Now, the final 2 that I'll throw in here, we did have A-Star listed, but honestly, there's another project here that you should also have on your radar called Fala Network. Now, Fala Network is a privacy blockchain here on Polkadot. Fala Network is the first privacy layer project on Polkadot with 2 Web3 grants as well. A-Star isn't as popular as these other ones, but it does have support for Cosmos and EVM. If you're asking me, I'd say Fala has a slightly higher chance here, but A-Star should also be on your radar. But what good is any of this if you don't know how to play this and put it into action? This is just my personal strategy, my own personal approach, not financial advice, because the reality is that this is going to be one hot potato of a launch circuit. All these projects that are successfully able to secure parachains, and by the way, you could potentially get into the parachain auction by loaning your Polkadot out to them. I don't believe it's available for US investors though, but the reality is if you miss that, you could potentially get in early by scooping these up on the market when they hit. Now, of course, you can imagine that these will be some of the most contested launches. What we know when things are extremely hyped, look at the Mechaverse NFT launch, for example, is that when people over FOMO into things, there tends to be a pump and dump effect on the new token releases. So don't jump into the FOMO. Wait for things to settle. And even better, if you have the tenacity and patience, what you should do is wait for potentially a down moment for Bitcoin. Because I'm starting to believe genuinely that we will have a long, potentially 6 or 12 month cycle ahead of us with massive runs up in Bitcoin and then massive dumps down, which in general make people think that the bull run is over. And in those moments, they tend to aggro dump and panic sell all of their more risky altcoins. Enter in the opportunity for you to scoop up one of these 5 projects on a major dip, knowing that they are still integral core parts of that early Polkadot ecosystem, and as the market returns, will most likely be the target of much hype and much pumpage. So that is the 5,000 IQ approach for you if you can handle wading through and fighting the FOMO, knowing that each Bitcoin dump and each quote unquote bear cycle is followed by yet another bullish resumption of Bitcoin's growth, driven by uncertain monetary policy globally, massive inflation, and the everlasting lure of the rabbit hole that is crypto. If you guys got some value out of this, smash that like button. Remember, each and every comment on this video is entered to win your own hardware wallet. As always, I'm going to be coming with individual coin picks, NFT project picks that I believe strongly will put this community in a position for 100x millionaire making gains. So make sure you're subscribed with that bell notification on, or you will miss all of the magic, I promise. With that said, I'm EllioTrades. You can find me on Twitter at EllioTrades. Link is in the description, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.